Be seated, please.
Call your next witness.
Kraus, K-R-A-U-S-S. Chanel, S-H-A-N-E-L-L-E. Last name Booker, B-O-O-K-E-R.
Raise your right hand, please.
You solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you shall give the court and the jury on which you now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Tell us your name and spell it out for our court reporter, please.
Yes, Jennifer, Jennifer. Last name is Kraus, K-R-A-U-S-S.
All right, Ms. Kraus, were you working as a registered nurse on March 21st of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you treat a woman named Sherry West that morning? And did she tell you how she was injured?
Yes, ma'am.
What did she tell you?
She told me that she was shot. She said that she was walking down the road, and she just said, they shot my baby, and they shot me.
You remember writing what is called an adult assessment that morning about Sherry West, your ER notes from treating her?
I did write one. I don't remember exactly what it says.
Is that the report that you wrote that morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Remember what you were told by Sherry West as to how she was injured based on that report?
Ask me the question again. I'm sorry.
What did Sherry West tell you as far as how she was injured based on the notes in your report?
Right. Objection sustained. You have to, if that report, you read the report, if it refreshes your memory, okay, then you can answer the question. You have to answer the question not from the report, but from your own recollection. So if that refreshes your own recollection, that's good, okay?
Yes. She did tell me I spent about 3.5 hours with her, so we kept, it was a continual conversation about what she had done that morning, and that she was walking home from the post office, and the baby was asleep in the stroller. She said 2 people walked up to her, 2 young boys walked up to her. She said she wasn't very concerned with it because she thought they were just coming to look at the baby. She's like, I thought that somebody was just going to come up and tell me how cute he was, and then they proceeded to ask for her money and her purse. She says, I don't have any money. I don't have anything in here. And they proceeded to shoot her, she said, in her leg. They asked again for the money. She said, I don't have any money, and that's when they shot him, the baby.
Recall her stating that a young child came up to her wanting her money?
Yes, she made the comment that her exact words that day were, they should have been in school.
They should have been, as in?
They should have been in school. They were too young to be outside just roaming the streets at that time of day.
Okay.
Ms. Kraus, what was Sherry West's demeanor when you saw her that day in the hospital?
She was very distressed. I mean, when she came in, they shot my baby, where is he, what's going on? She didn't know anything when she got there. She was very upset. And then I was in the room with her when the detective came in, and we decided to let. When she came in, they shot my baby, where is he, what's going on? She didn't know anything when she got there. She was very upset. And then I was in the room with her when the detective came in, and we decided to let her know. They shot my baby, where is he? I was in the room with her when the detective came in, and we decided to let
For that?
just started crying and sobbing, and she was very upset.
Was she given any kind of medication for pain relief at the hospital while she was there for the wound in her leg?
I'm not 100% positive about that.
Okay. Do you know protocol whether or not that would have been something she would have been given at the hospital?
It normally.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you shall give before and the jury on the issue now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
You state your name and then spell it for our court reporter, please.
Mark Amick, A-M-I-C-K. Mark is M-A-R-K.
And were you working as an EMT or emergency medical technician on the morning of March 21st?
Paramedic, yes.
Yes, sir, this year. And did you respond to a shooting at 708 London Street that morning? And did you treat a woman later identified as Sherry West on the scene?
I did.
Did she make any statements in your presence about who shot her child?
She didn't say who, she didn't tell me who shot the child, but she did mention that someone had shot her child.
Do you recall writing a trip report that morning for your treatment of Sherry West?
Yes.
Would seeing that report refresh your memory as to what she said that morning? Would seeing your report refresh your memory as to what she said that morning?
Well, I have my piece.
Your Honor, he's not testified he's having any problems remembering. He just testified that answered the question that she asked, and he's not indicated he's got any memory problems.
Just said she didn't know, she didn't say.
Pardon me, address it to the court,
Just said
please.
he didn't know, she didn't say.
Ask your question again, if he
I said she didn't say who shot. She told me that somebody had shot. That's all she said.
Would seeing your report from that morning refresh your memory as to what she said as to who shot her?
He just testified from his memory. He doesn't need to see his report, Judge.
Is your memory better now
Yeah.
than it was on the morning of that shooting?
I'm telling you what she said, and that's what she said. Somebody had shot her. She didn't say who shot her.
She didn't say who, she just said someone shot her. Is that,
Someone.
I understand what your answer is?
Someone.
Okay.
She didn't say who.
All right, thank you, sir.
Questions? Thank you, sir. Next witness, call your next witness. Ray Morat. Okay. Can you go get me one real quick?
Yeah, tell them to get it.
Okay.
You do solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you shall give the court in this hearing on the issue not pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Counselor, if you just hold off for 1 second, okay? We're waiting on a matter. Counsel want to approach?
Jeff, an amplifier might help.
They're going to go get the battery.
Okay.
Oh.
We don't need the AAA.
I don't know whether this takes Eric's on his way down. See if I...
I can't hear. Don't move.
Raymond, yes, ma'am. Rat, M-A-R-A-T.
I can do that.
That's fine.
There.
Test, test.
All right, we're ready to begin? Okay. We did swear you in, didn't we?
Yes, sir, you did.
I think you already did a little earlier, but can you say your name for the jury and then spell it out for our court reporter?
Raymond Marat. It's RaymondMarat.
Were you working as a paramedic or EMT on the morning of March 21st,
Yes, ma'am.
2013?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you respond to a shooting at 708 London Street that morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Treat a woman later identified as Sherry West.
I didn't treat her. I walked up to her to talk to her at the beginning.
Continue your answer.
I arrived on location, and at one point I walked up to her to see if I could offer aid before my other squad got there. And right as I approached her and asked her a question, then the other ambulance showed up.
Okay. Did she make any statements in your presence about how she was injured or how her child was shot?
Yes, she did. She stated they shot my baby.
That they shot my baby?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember writing a report that morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall recording any statements about Sherry West and what she said that morning?
I refer to my report.
No, he's already testified to what she said. Why does he need to refer to his report?
Right, the law is you have to testify from your own recollection.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and you can refer to your report if you don't remember, okay? And if it will help you refresh your recollection. You can't testify from your report, but if it refreshes, if you need to, you're certainly allowed to look at that and refresh your recollection. But then you have to testify from what you remember that morning, okay?
Well, she made reference that she's walking down the street with her baby, and she was approached and her baby was shot.
Do you remember recording a statement that said mother was walking down the
Your Honor,
street?
she's now reading from a report that is not in evidence, and she's got a witness on direct.
Repeat your last answer, sir.
I'm sorry, ma'am?
You repeat your last answer.
She made reference that she's walking down the street with her baby, and she people approached her and shot her baby.
Describe who this he was.
No, she did not.
Where you go?
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy your drive home.
I will.
Call your next witness.
Juan Thorpe.
Yes, ma'am.
Please be seated.
Officer Thorpe, would you
Yes.
please? All right. Would you please state your full name for the jury?
Juan Carlos Thorpe,
Where are you currently employed?
City of Brunswick, Brunswick Police Department.
And how long have you worked for the City of Brunswick Police Department?
Excuse me?
I'm sorry. How long have you worked for the City of Brunswick Police Department?
22 years.
22 years.
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you have occasion to respond on March 21st to the shooting of a young child?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall whether you were still on duty at approximately 18:45 hours, 6:45 p.m. on March 21st?
Yes, sir, I was.
Do you recall whether anyone approached you at that time?
Yes, sir.
What was the name of the individual that approached you?
Aldre Brooks.
He also known as Argy Brooks?
If that's how you pronounce it, yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, well, I believe it's A-R-G-I-E, Brooks. I believe Officer Thorpe spells it A-L-G-R-E, Brooks.
Yes, sir.
And I guess only Mr. Brooks knows how it's actually supposed to be spelled. Sir, when Mr. Brooks approached you, was he in a car?
No, sir.
How did he approach you?
On a bicycle with no seat.
Is that an adult bicycle or a child bicycle?
Appeared to be a child bike. It was small.
You indicated that there was no seat.
Yes, sir. There was no seat on the bike.
Did Mr. Brooks appear to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs?
To me, he did. Yes, sir.
Can you describe his appearance and presentation to you at that time? I'm not questioning your observation. I'm just asking you to articulate for the jury why that appeared to be the case to you.
Well, when he came up to me, he was spewing saliva from the mouth, and he was kind of skittish. And when other people would walk by, he would clam up and wouldn't want to talk. And he just, to me, appeared to be high on something or alcohol.
Mr. Brooks stated that he needed money.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to cut you off. Did you want to object?
I was talking to my co-counsel. We may.
Did he tell you what he wanted the money for?
Objection to hearsay, Your Honor.
Your Honor, it's not a leading question. That's a yes or no question. That is not.
But the objection was hearsay.
He asked him to, did he tell you what he wanted the money for? That calls for a hearsay response, Your Honor.
As to hearsay, sustained.
Your Honor, Mr. Brooks is about to testify. But look, well, Your Honor, I have no further questions for you, Mr. Thorpe. But we'll keep him on standby. We'll recall him.
Do we have any questions for Mr. McElvain?
I'll wait until he's recalled, Your Honor. The state wants Mr. Brooks to testify first. We'll wait.
Any questions at this time from the state?
The state doesn't want anybody to testify in any particular order, Your Honor.
Sit down. Call your next witness.
Your Honor, we call Argy Brooks. No, Your Honor, he's not out in the lobby.
If you have another witness you can call, that one will be up here.
I'm sorry?
It'll be a few minutes for that witness to testify. Call another witness.
Your Honor, we call Jay Jarvis.
I do.
Jarvis, would you please state your full name for the record?
My full name is Francis Thomas Jarvis, but I go by the nickname of Jay.
Very well. Mr. Jarvis, where do you live? What part of town do you live in?
Well, I live just outside of Rome, Georgia.
Born in Georgia?
No, sir, I wasn't. I think my accent probably gives that away.
Well, where were you born?
I was born in Long Island, New York.
Very well. Did you attend college?
Yes, sir, I did.
Where did you attend college?
I received my undergraduate degree from Georgia College in Milledgeville in 1978. Then went on to the University of Pittsburgh, where I received a master's degree in forensic chemistry in 1979.
Is that an MS?
Yes, sir.
Master of Science?
Master of Science, that's correct.
Did you subsequently obtain another degree?
I also received a degree, a master's in public administration from Georgia State University, I believe in 2006 or 7, can't remember.
That did you say was that Columbus State University?
Did I say Georgia? I'm sorry, it was Columbus State University in Columbus.
Did you subsequently perform an internship?
Following my, as a part of my graduate studies at the University of Pittsburgh, I did internship at the Allegheny County Crime Laboratory, which is located in Pittsburgh.
And where have you held any positions in the scientific field?
Yes, for approximately 32 years, I was employed at the Georgia State Crime Laboratory. I worked both here in the Atlanta office. I also worked in the laboratory in Macon, as well as a Northwest Georgia laboratory that was located in Somerville.
You started with the GBI in what year?
In September of 1979.
You retired in what year?
I retired June the 1st, 2011.
We would stipulate to Mr. Jarvis's qualifications.
Do you have that stipulation, Mr. Garland?
Do you, Your Honor?
Okay. I find he's an expert in allowing me to give opinion testimony thereof.
Mr. Jarvis, have we met before?
Not prior to right now, no, sir.
All right. But we have communicated by phone.
Yes, we have.
Were you retained by the defense of Mr. Elkins to look at some of the evidence in the State v. Elkins case?
Yes, I was.
And were various items of evidence sent to you for your review?
There were documents sent to me, and then I actually physically went to the crime laboratory located in Savannah to examine other items of physical evidence.
So in addition to reviewing documents related to the case, you actually physically went to the crime lab yourself?
Yes, sir, I did.
And you actually physically reviewed the evidence, physical evidence, the bullets, shell casings, gunshot residue kits, everything at the crime lab in this case?
Yes, sir, I did.
Were you asked to, well, before I get there, do you know Brian Leopard?
Yes, I do.
How long have you known Brian Leopard?
I've known Brian since he was first hired, and I'm not sure what day that was, but you know, it's a small community of people that do firearms and ballistics work in the state, so everybody knows everyone.
And you were specifically asked to review his reports?
That's correct.
Okay. Do you recall the nature or the kind of weapon involved, held in evidence in this case?
Yes, it was a RG Model 14 .22 caliber revolver.
Okay. Does that gun fall in a class of weapons that has a special nickname?
It's commonly referred to as a Saturday Night Special, which is an inexpensive, cheaply made firearm that usually sells for less than $100.
All right. Do you recall being asked to review the available data as to how many of those weapons were manufactured?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. How many of those weapons were manufactured?
Of that particular model, there were over 800,000 of that particular model manufactured.
Now, Agent Leopard, in his report, identified several manufacturers of similar guns.
That's correct.
And similar, I'm sorry, it's not truly a scientific phrase. When you're examining firearms, can you explain to the jury what it is that you're looking for?
Certainly. In order for a firearm to fire a bullet and for the bullet to travel in a straight line and for the firearm to be accurate, the bullets have to have a gyroscopic spin as they come out of the end of the barrel. If you can if I can use this as an example, when you think about a football being thrown, in order for a quarterback to throw a football in an accurate manner, he has to impart a spin to the ball when he throws it. Otherwise, it will tend to just tumble through the air instead of firing in an accurate manner. And the same holds true for a bullet. If the bullet is not spinning about its axis when it comes out of the barrel, it tends to tumble, and it won't fly in a straight line, and the firearm is not accurate. So in order to cause that bullet to have a spin about it, the manufacturers of the firearm barrels create what's known as rifling. And what rifling is a series of ridges that are inside the barrel that are left in there, and the process is done so as the bullet engages these raised ridges, it will impart a spin to the bullet. So when it actually comes out of the end of the barrel, it's spinning about its axis, and that allows it to fly in a straight direction. Well, different manufacturers utilize processes that put different numbers of lands and grooves, and it's the raised areas, the raised ridges in the barrel that actually grip the bullet and impart the spin to it. So you may have one manufacturer that may put 4 or 5 lands and grooves, and you may have one that may put as many as 20. It's kind of a manufacturer's preference.
The revolver that you examined at the Georgia Crime Lab, how many lands or grooves did it have?
That particular model has 8 lands and grooves.
And what does it mean to say that the barrel has a twist to it? I mean, they're all straight in one sense.
Yes, but when the grooves are cut in or formed in the barrel, the tool has to be rotating as that forming process is done, and that's what allows the bullet, when it engages with the rifling, to begin to turn. So some manufacturers, very few, use a left-hand direction of twist, but the majority of them use a right-hand twist.
All right. And this particular revolver was in the majority that used the right-hand twist?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Now, we've all watched CSI and other shows on television. Is it always possible to tie a particular gun to a particular spent bullet? Is that always possible?
No, it's not always possible, no, sir.
In fact, it's often not possible.
Well, I would say it's, I don't know that I would use the word often, but it happens more frequently than you probably would believe, yes.
And for some calibers and some kinds of firearms, it happens more commonly than with others.
That's true, and also with certain types of weapons, it happens more frequently.
And in this case, having reviewed the items, I think they were, as referenced in the crime lab report, you examined how many bullets?
A total of 2 fired .22 caliber lead bullets.
And the condition of those bullets was not ideal?
They were not ideal. It was easy to discern that the bullets were .22 caliber, but approximately half of the bearing surface that bears the markings that we would use to make a comparison were unsuitable for comparison.
So beyond looking at the twist of the grooves, twist of the lands and marks and their number, did you really have any other basis to make comparison with the evidence available?
No, sir.
And on that basis, were you asked to go back and look at the manufacturers that may have manufactured guns fitting these characteristics?
Yes, I was.
All right. Now, in addition to those identified by Mr. Leopard, you were able to identify several more, were you not?
Yes, I put together what I would say was a more comprehensive list of firearms that were produced that had rifling that was similar to what I observed on the bullet.
Can you identify those manufacturers for the jury?
I certainly can. 22 caliber revolvers that have the same 8 lands and grooves with a right-hand twist include the RG, which is what I examined, Arminius, Burgo, North American Arms, Herbert Schmidt, Hawes, Valor, EIG, which is spelled E-I-G, Kimmel, Gekado, Liberty, Dixon, PIC, Bison, FabArm, and High Score. There are...
Okay. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Those manufacturers, all of those manufacturers manufactured revolvers or just handguns?
These were all just, these are just the revolvers that have the same rifling.
In .22 caliber?
Correct.
Now, are there other weapons that also fire .22 caliber long rifle rounds with the same number of grooves and the same twist?
Yes, there are two manufacturers of Derringers, the RG, which is the same manufacturer of the weapon that I examined, and also American Firearms. And then there's also several rifles that include Mossberg, Revelation, Western Field, Cooey, Lakefield Arms, Etonia, and Lithgow. And then there were 2 pistols, the Lorson and Intratec, that also have the same type of rifling.
All right. Do you have an opinion as to how many weapons, how many .22 caliber revolvers were manufactured that would have the same characteristics in terms of groove and twist?
Well, just based on the fact that the RG-14 model had over 800,000 that I'm aware of manufactured, I would estimate that given all the other manufacturers that I named off, I would guess that it would have to be in the, at least a couple of million.
Well, to be fair, let me rephrase the question.